Do carnivores need to supplement with probiotics? The answer is most likely yes. After coaching hundreds of carnivores, it has become clear to me that it's most likely that carnivores might be helped greatly by improving their probiotic intake. And since we're not consuming plant foods, I'm going to give you suggestions on what you can do to inoculate your gut with this critically important type of bacteria or probiotic. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Zaldivar, and I was featured on the first ever carnivore diet documentary called Reverse TV series. I've also lost and maintained over 35 pounds, largely with the help of keto and carnivore diets, and also raising my baseline dopamine levels as I explain in this YouTube video. And I've quit my nutrition professor jobs at the American College of Sports Medicine, the University of Miami, Miami-Dade College, and elsewhere, so I could focus on reaching a wider audience online. All right, now let's talk about what is this probiotic that carnivores are missing. I've had cases with long-term carnivores who completely eliminated symptoms that were bothering them just by including this type of probiotic. Just the other week, I had an update from my client after I recommended that she take this probiotic, and she told me the dizzy spells she was suffering from for 6 months straight completely went away simply by building up and reaching the recommended dose of that probiotic. It was amazing. And there was another person as well who reversed his diabetes on a carnivore diet, but he started suffering with a really bad rash. We didn't know if it was eczema or psoriasis, and he saw all the specialists, but he stuck to carnivore because it cured his food addiction and it allowed him to reverse his type 2 diabetes. So he did not want to cheat on the diet. So finally, he figured it out, and it was a naturopath that he saw who recommended that he takes also the same probiotic that I'm going to mention. And by the way, this is not a sponsored YouTube video. I'm just going to go over the product that all these people are using, but you can get the strains individually or see if there's a different product that has those particular strains in them. And so anyway, he completely eliminated the rash just by taking the probiotic, and I kept checking up on him for years later on, and the rash completely went away as long as he was taking this probiotic. So I thought it would be a good idea to share that with you guys, because I do share it with all of my clients if we have to troubleshoot certain things that do not completely resolve sometimes in a carnivore diet. So the brand that I always recommend contains a bunch of bacillus strains, and it's a bunch of different bacillus probiotic strains that I don't know if it's one of them that's doing all this magnificent work or if it's the fact that all of them are working together. So the product is called Mega Spore-based, and it's got Bacillus indicus, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus coagulans, Bacillus licheniformis, and Bacillus clausii, and every 2 capsules is going to give you a really high doses, 4 billion CFUs or 4 billion colony forming units. And those types of probiotics are a type of spore-based probiotic. So they form spores whereby they are not destroyed by your stomach acid, and so they can pass through the stomach and the acidity of your digestive system to reach their target destination, and that's where they keep giving you all of the benefits. Normally you would find those strains in soil. All of the soil probiotics are spore-based probiotics, whereby they're very resilient and they are resistant to the stomach acid. Now, we're not spending as much time in nature as our ancestors, so maybe this is why sometimes if we're doing carnivore and we're not exposed to nature, not even in the form of veggies or fruits where there might be some soil and some of those probiotics on them, then maybe if we're doing that carnivore in the modern world, it might be helpful to also introduce this type of probiotic. Also, the great thing about these spore-based probiotics or the bacillus strain probiotics is that once they're activated, once they reach their target destination, they remain active in the gut for weeks, which is much longer than the standard probiotics that you would get, like the lactobacillus and the ones that are found in yogurts, for example. Also, the bacillus strain probiotics are very helpful in helping you seal leaky gut and seal intestinal permeability. I have an older YouTube video where I talk about leaky gut or intestinal permeability, and so maybe you may want to check that out if you're not familiar with that notion. But basically it helps the integrity of your gut lining and it seals it so that you have better defenses against the bacteria in your gut and not having them enter into your blood, and also certain foods that you're eating so that they cannot enter into your blood without being fully digested. And there's a lot of research also showing how spore-based probiotics like the Bacillus subtilis, coagulans, and Bacillus clausii have shown promise in in managing symptoms of IBS, inflammatory bowel diseases, antibiotic-associated diarrhea, and dietary endotoxemia. Now, if you'd like to test before and after your gut health, I will link in the description box below the GI map test, which uses the most progressive type of technology we have for gut testing. It uses PCR DNA technology to check for your probiotics and the overall health of your gut. You can order it directly from my storefront. It's linked below. And also, I will send you a free copy of my guide, the 30-Day Carnivore Diet Challenge Guide, when you sign up to my newsletter at drsarahzeldivar.com/newsletter. And if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, feel free to check out my coaching packages at drsarahzeldivar.com/coaching. And you can use code YouTube to get 50% off all of my one-on-one coaching packages, but the coupon expires within the next 48 hours. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I always read all my comments and I answer them. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you give this YouTube video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell icon so YouTube alerts you every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.